अगला इलेक्शन करीब एग्जैक्टली 1 साल बाद है, अपना पार्लियामेंट का इलेक्शन। और जैसे हर इलेक्शन में एक खासियत होती है जिसको कहते हैं समथिंग न्यू, क्योंकि हर इलेक्शन में कोई यूनिक इश्यूज आते हैं, डिफरेंट इश्यूज होते हैं जिसके डिफरेंट सॉल्यूशंस होते हैं। सो द मिलियू इन विच द इलेक्शंस हैपन आर डिफरेंट। Now, this election which is going to be, I think it is going to be काफी personality based. Personality based का क्या मतलब है? देखिए, दो नेशनल पार्टीज हैं, कांग्रेस है, बीजेपी है। बाकी रीजनल पार्टीज हैं which are very very powerful in their own states. Which way they will swing, one doesn't know. But for all practical purposes, जैसे कि दिखता है, finally BJP they will have to declare a prime minister candidate. तभी ये election will be decisive, जैसे कि ओबामा का था. So it's going to be more of personality based. It's going to be Narendra Modi versus maybe Rahul Gandhi, maybe Sonia Gandhi, maybe Manmohan Singh, maybe anybody. Which phase the Congress wants to put ahead, I don't know. Whatever the Congress says. Now, what is required for progress is that we should have a very, very strong center. And there are historical reasons for this. Beginning with a very strong center, जब Alexander the Great, सिकंदर आया था, at the time of Chandragupta Maurya, in 326 BC. क्यों आया था सिकंदर? क्योंकि हिंदुस्तान सोने की चिड़िया थी। क्यों सोने की चिड़िया थी? क्योंकि वी हैड अ वेरी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग सेंटर। उसके बाद एम्पायर टूटे, एंड देन अगेन वी हैड अ वेरी वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग सेंटर एट द टाइम ऑफ अकबर. Akbar was the most powerful man on the planet in his time, and according to the book by Nick Collins, in the year 1700, our GDP was more than whole of Europe plus England combined से ज़्यादा GDP हिंदुस्तान का था. It was even more than China. I have statistics to prove that. Why? What happened then? We didn't send any ambassador to England. They were the first to send an ambassador here in the name of Sir Thomas Rao in 1612 during the reign of Jahangir. उन्होंने ambassador भेजा. क्यों? Because हिंदुस्तान सोने की चिड़िया थी, क्योंकि it was a very powerful center. Now, what we need is a very powerful center, and this powerful center can be provided, I think, on track record by Narendra Modi. Let us see why and how. This is the third time that he has got a 2/3 majority in his Gujarat Assembly. Out of 182 seats, last election he had 121, 122. There's more than 66%. That's more than 2/3. This time he's got 117, that's about 64.5%, which is just 1.5% short of 2/3. Just one more person will make it 2/3. He can change the law. When the elections happen, these 117 people who are now sitting in BJP benches in the Gujarat Assembly are not 117 different people who did work in their constituencies. They did the work in the constituencies. But the hand behind all that work was Narendra Modi. There has to be a central authority looking at all the territory. Today we have a system where I am from Pune, so there are so many candidates. I am from Baramati, there are so many candidates. I am from Madhepura in Bihar, there are so many candidates. In the last 10, 11 elections that have taken place since independence, it has been seen that the general voting percentage has been around 50%. So in a Lok Sabha constituency which is on an average is 10 lakh voters, 5 lakh don't vote. Out of the 5 lakh that vote, the winner is anywhere between 1,25,000, 1,30,000 and above. Then there is a second person who is around a lakh. There is a third who is around 80 or 75,000, and the rest are Lallu Panjus who don't matter. So ultimately, on an average, it has been seen in statistics that to win an election, you need to placate 15% of committed voters, and there you are. Once you get elected to parliament, now if I was MP from say Baramati, I will make sure that the roads are good. I will make sure that everybody in Baramati gets water. I will make sure that everybody gets electricity. I will invite all the industries and I will give them shops and give them benefits, which is fine, which is excellent. So I strengthen my base in Baramati or Pune or down or wherever I am standing from. That's all I look at. I don't look at the nation. But Obama, for example, must look at the whole nation because his voters come from the southern tip of Florida to the northern tip of Oregon, or Lake in the Woods in Minnesota, or down south in Texas, El Paso, Rio Grande. That is the size of America, including Alaska, which is 5,000 miles to the northeast, northwest rather. Anyway, Narendra Modi has looked at whole of Gujarat, and I have been across Gujarat. I was there in 2007 when Bhardwaj Dayala came back from the world tour. I rode from Delhi right up to Bombay, all through Rajasthan and Gujarat, and I saw and this was 2007, October, November, when December were the elections, and I decided in November, just less than a month before the elections, and I went through Gujarat and I had seen the work that he has done up to 2007. Everybody, even chaiwala se leke, dukandar se leke, everybody on the road, they said Narendra Modi because he looks at whole of Gujarat. Now, so this election is going to be something like a watershed, where it will be personality based and it will be personality based. That's it, personality based. And it will be Narendra Modi versus whoever stands up. Now, what are Narendra Modi's chances? Already yesterday, Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has raised the question of how the Lokayukt legislation was passed by in Gujarat Assembly. That means the Chief Minister will be the head of a committee nominated by him to select a Lokayukt. Now, Nitish says this is wrong. Think about it. What I want to mention as a fact is that when Narendra Modi was swearing in Ahmedabad, I think it was around sometime just after Christmas last year, Jayalalitha was there, the Thackeray brothers were there, Akali Dal was there. So there is considerable support in Maharashtra for whatever reason. There is considerable support from Jayalalitha, right in Tamil Nadu up to Kanyakumari. That says something. And then right up in the north, Prakash Singh Bahadur was there. So there is support for him outside Gujarat. Of course, not much support can come from UP because of Mulayam Singh Yadav. But it has to be seen. Now Beni Prasad is saying that he will get only 4 seats and the whole equation will change next year. Let us see what happens. I don't know what's going to happen in West Bengal. Mamata is sometimes saying this side, sometimes that side. I can't make out. But it will be a consolidation somewhere. And seeing if track record is something that one goes by, then, well, it's Narendra Modi. Among the intelligentsia, I teach at a dozen MBA institutes and I talk to youngsters every year and I influence about 5,000 minds every year, face to face, in addition to thousands of others who are my ex-students on Facebook and my own website. And everybody says Narendra Modi. Now, the thing is that when come voting time in May next year, will these children who will be first time voters, will they just consider this election day as a holiday and go away with their girlfriends, or actually stand in line and vote, for which they must register? According to current law, if you lived in any place for 6 months or more, you can register yourself as a voter there. So you can get a letter from your college that you've been attending class for the last 6 months, and you go, there'll be a board office, or you go to any political party's office, they will register you and they'll give you a paper saying that you can vote next election. So come May in 2014, when it's election time, please go and vote. You can go with your girlfriend after voting. No? At least make sure that when you go with your girlfriend, your atmosphere will be good if you vote for the correct candidate, which you all say is Narendra Modi. But you have to go and vote. The voting percentage of youngsters should be at least 80%. Youngsters. The oldsters, they have fixed minds and so on and so forth. So they may be lazy also. But the youngsters must vote, because you see our Prime Minister's aspirants also, even Atal Bihari Ji, how old he was, Narasimha Rao, how old he was. Why do we have, even Manmohan Singh is almost touching 80, whereas Obama is in his 40s. Hey, why are our governments always run by old people? At least get some middle-aged guy like Narendra Modi. He fits in. He's 3 years younger than me. He's 1950 born. He has some dum in him still. Imagine a man of 63 and a man of 80. I am old. I can see how I am weakening. So, how much strength Manmohan Singh has, don't I know? He's not a Superman. Everybody gets old. Old age is not a disease. It's a law of nature. And I know I am weakening, and I can see other people weakening as well. This is law of nature. So at least Narendra Modi has that strength. I don't say that Nitish doesn't have a strength. Maybe he's younger than Modi, but he has said that he's not interested. Mayawati has already thrown her hat in the ring, saying that she is a candidate. Now let's see what happens. Congress, the BJP, and whether a third front develops. You know, the states, various states playing their equations. Mulayam Singh, Shibu Soren, Mamata Banerjee, Tarun Gogoi, of course, Congress. So Congress one side. Then there are the BJP ruled states. Rajasthan, you don't know, is it Gehlot or is it Vasundhara? Then I don't know which way next month there's elections in Karnataka. I don't know how it goes. Anyway, Tamil Nadu is there with Narendra Modi. There's no doubt about that. Can't say about Kerala. And Andhra, I don't know how. Sushil Kumar Sindhu said he will tell about Telangana. He has not said anything. The deadline is long past. How they will play that game, God knows. But one thing is sure. If the question is development and it comes to personality, somebody against Narendra Modi, I think Narendra Modi can deliver the goods. Think about it. Purely on his development record. Think about it.